Insurance isn't one size fits all, and shopping for it shouldn't feel like squeezing into something that just doesn't fit. That's why drivers have enjoyed Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years. With the Name Your Price tool, you tell them what you want to pay, and they show you options that fit your budget. Enough hunting for discounts, trying to calculate rates, and tinkering with coverages. Maybe you're picking out your very first policy, or maybe you're just looking for something that works better for you and your family. Either way, they make it simple to see your options. No guesswork, no surprises. Ready to see how easy and fun shopping for car insurance can be? Visit Progressive.com and give the Name Your Price tool a try. Take the stress out of shopping and find coverage that fits your life, on your terms. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
When you need to build up your team to handle the growing chaos at work, use Indeed Sponsored Jobs. It gives your job post the boost it needs to be seen and helps reach people with the right skills, certifications, and more. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. That's Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need a hiring hero? This is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs.
I didn't think the pain from the shingles rash would affect simple, everyday tasks like bathing, getting dressed, or even walking around. I was wrong. Though not everyone at risk will develop it, 99% of people over the age of 50 already have the virus that causes shingles, and it could reactivate at any time. I developed it, and the blistering rash lasted for weeks. Don't learn the hard way, like I did. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist today. Sponsored by GSK.
So, Cody, I didn't know about this until today, but did you know that Fox is hiring somebody to go to New York and watch every single World Cup game? And you're getting paid to do it.
Get paid?
You get paid.
Getting paid to do it? I need to look this up. We're going to talk about this.
Like, you have a real job, though, man. I don't know.
I know, but if I could get paid to just watch soccer, I mean, that's the dream.
Anything to shake this mood I'm in. My football team's got me drinking.
"20 days until the roster reveal. Less than that by the time you're listening now, perhaps. May 26th, the roster reveal will come out. Mark those calendars. 37 days until Paraguay on June 12th. So we're getting down to the wire here. We are going to talk about that roster and look at some of the players, good, bad, and the ugly on that front. We had a good conversation with Lori Thomas over on the Shades of Blue soccer show on this very same network. So yeah, we got a lot to talk about. We're getting down to the wire here, Thad. You getting tingly?
You know, I don't like it when you ask me if I'm tingly. It sounds too personal.
20 days and the World Cup is here. I'm counting it when the roster's revealed. That means it's official and the World Cup's here.
I know. And is that the final roster, or is that the training camp guys? Or is it both?
Oh.
It's the final 26 as far as I know.
That has to be. It's only a few
host
days.
Cody Bradley and commentator Thad Bell.
Yes. Good introductions there.
Hey, I'm really bad about this, and I really truly apologize, Cody, but because we always do, we try to create a rundown of what we're going to talk about, but I have one thing to add to that rundown, and I don't know when we should add it, but
great timing, Thad.
Yeah.
Now, why not?
I know.
Let's talk
I'm
about
sorry.
it while we're recording. Good stuff.
But did you see Mexico is threatening their Liga MX players that they will not be called up?
I missed this. No.
Yeah, their coach basically said, if you aren't here for these practice games, I don't care if you're in the playoffs. I don't care if you're fighting for relegation or whatever. If you're not here for these practice games, you won't get called up for the World Cup.
That's fair. But then it's also fair of the fans or that player to want to be there in a relegation or promotion battle.
Yeah, so it's a little bit harsh.
But I also believe they're releasing players to play against LAFC tonight, though, right?
Right, and that's part of the controversy.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So, Robert, we had your buddy, Lori Thomas. For those who don't know, Robert is going to be involved as a volunteer in this World Cup, and Lori Thomas is the chief, the king, the queen of all of the volunteers.
Yeah, and you guys gave me a lot of crap during that episode too. So if you guys enjoyed that, go listen to that one. But yeah, Lori, I told you guys she's a great person. She's a lot of fun. She's done a lot in her life. Good Lord. So
Yeah,
4 Hall of Fame she's part of. So yeah, go and
yeah, she
listen to
was
that. It's a
cool.
good show. And she did make a little mistake that she wants us
Yeah.
to fix. She
Oh,
said that Rage versus the Machine was part of the entertainment for the Fan Fest when it's not. She really meant All
oh,
American Rejects. So
okay.
there you go.
Rage Against
It,
the Machine, that would have been a good one. All American Rejects, I like them. I've seen them live.
I think that was
Yeah.
like the only band I heard of that she listed off, though. So
Haven't
No,
heard of
there were
Flo
some good
Rida?
ones.
Never heard
Yeah,
of the
not bad.
Chainsmokers? Come on,
no.
man. Okay.
Chainsmokers will be fun. That's a really good one. I don't know how relevant they are in the last 5 years or so, but yeah, I love the Chainsmokers. Those are
What
good times.
what kind of music are they?
Oh, not, they play at a lot of festivals. It's not like EDM, and I don't want to say pop music, but like,
Well, one of their top
uh,
songs, Cody, is what,
it's,
with Coldplay, right?
yeah, it's kind of pop
Yeah,
music, but
yeah,
no, they're good. I dig
yeah.
Chainsmokers. So yeah,
But
that'll
there
be
is
good.
a very long list of performers, and yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know most of them. So there you go.
Yeah, that was good talk with Lori. Go check that show out. So yeah, let's get to this 50,000 there where they're gonna pay me to watch soccer. Robert, tell me more about this.
Well, Cody, you're good at socials, right? Posting things on.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So from what my understanding is you will be like on display at, Times Square while you're watching the games
Like
and
David
posting on
Blaine in
social
the
media.
box? Like David Blaine
Yeah.
in the box in Times Square? Wow.
It's
I'm starting to like this.
it kind of reminds me, and Thad, maybe you remember these sometimes when people like go up on a flagpole and they'd sit up there to raise money for charity, and people would, bid to get them down off the flagpole.
Okay, I am old, but flagpole sitting is even before my time. So I don't.
Yeah. But
I
yeah,
guess I
50,000. Would you do it, Cody? I mean, if you weren't working your real job?
Yeah, I mean that'd be really fun. They're gonna have to pay me where I'm sleeping in New York. I'm gonna need that part of this.
See, that'd be the
Um,
problem. I don't know if I'd be able to stay
right.
awake for all 104 matches.
Well, maybe that's not in the contract. Maybe you can snooze a little bit. It's not your
Hmm.
fault. Uh, I 50,000 though, and because I was like, when you said this, I'm like, what do they get out of it? And I guess it's just the social media thing, creating a Fox spectacle, and you have an activation and placement in Times Square. That's what they're doing. So like 50,000 for that. I mean, it's
And
not
look
bad.
at the title you get, Fox One Chief World Cup Watcher. I mean, that's on your
What a
resume, right?
title! Is Fox One? Is that like a brand of theirs? Is that a channel, or is that the one seems out of place there? The Fox One Chief.
Kind of wondered about that myself. So,
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, there's FS1 that's
Mm.
sports that Fox does, right?
Yeah,
And I
maybe
don't know like which Fox owns what now because there was like the breakup and other weird stuff. So
104 matches. That'd be a good life experience. That'd be a lot of fun.
I'm probably gonna watch most of those anyway.
Yeah, most of them, right?
And
Speaking of
they're
Fox, did you guys see the new commercial, this promo? They dropped a big promo with a bunch of big names, and I think they really thought they were onto something. And I don't think it came off the way they thought it was going to come off. Thad, what did you think of this? The U.S. wins the World Cup final.
look the music "Dare to Dream" is playing through the entire thing.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think anybody thinks that U.S. soccer is a favorite to win the World Cup, but I'm a sucker for some of these like commercials. And by the way, at the end of that, it does have Fox One as a big logo at the
Oh,
end of that
oh,
commercial.
okay. There we
So
go.
I don't know what exactly it is,
Good.
but because I played it just before and I stopped it right at the end when the guy's like hugging the girl with the American flag around her backside. And anyway, I thought it was a good commercial actually. I mean, again,
It's fine.
it's I saw somebody describe it as or talking about it saying the audacity to say this, and then they go, "Yeah, but I really liked it." So
Yeah,
I
it's not about
I
the audacity of saying it. I don't know. It's almost like a they don't know ball kind of thing a little bit, but and then the whole thing that we have to be the best or we suck. There's too many people casual sports fans in this country that see this team and they treat this team like that, that if we're not in the final, then we suck. America has to be the best at everything and win every World Cup or we're just terrible. So, and I think this kind of plays into that. And that's maybe why it bothers me. But it was just a little cheesy. Like, yeah, it's fun. Like, Dare to Dream, good song. And look at Christian Pulisic doing stuff. And did they get all those guys? How did they get some of those shots? Did they have all of those guys in a studio and they crossed a ball into a corner? Because they like show specific plays where they're all going up for like kind of a
Yeah.
real looking header. So like props on that. I don't even know how they did that, but yeah, no, it's a fine commercial. It's just a little bit cheesy.
And I mean, the tie-in with the Olympic hockey team from 1980, Mike Eruzione at the end. I mean,
Yeah,
that's a
yeah,
pretty
that was
cool way to end it all, right?
No, and nobody thought that the U.S. was going to beat Russia. Like if you've seen that movie, it's like 9 out of 10 times they're going to beat us, but this one time is our time, and all that kind of stuff, right? It can happen, probably not.
But that's why this is all fun. Like that's why every country, not just America, has
Yeah.
this. It hasn't started yet. There's a dream. Crazy things happen in sports. You never know.
Well, let's remind everybody, Cody, how many countries have won the World Cup? Like 6 or 8?
I think it's 8. I think
Yeah.
8 total ever is
So a
that
lot of
number,
countries
yeah.
are dreaming.
I've knew that number because I've used that in arguments a lot from
Yeah.
family members and such that are like, well, if we're not even close to even getting to a World Cup final, then it's not worth watching. It's like, man, 8 countries ever. Like it doesn't mean all these other countries suck and they should just pack it up and no one cares. Like this is the way it is.
So
And speaking of the number 8, Cody, we are only 8 months behind Fox One. It's a streaming television service owned by Fox Corporation, launched in August of 2025. So there
Okay.
you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
well, apparently they
haven't-
need to advertise that better. So
Uh-huh.
They have not promoted that well. Well, I
um,
don't even understand what is. It's just it's the name of their streaming thing, and they just play all of the Fox sitcoms and like Simpsons and Family Guy and whatnot. That's like where you watch all of those.
Well, it's only like $15 to subscribe, so do that and
Like-
let us know.
Peacock is to NBC as Fox One is to Fox, I guess.
There you go.
I don't know. But you're saying earlier like it's like a American thing that people expect us, we have to be the best and all that stuff.
Mhm.
But isn't that like kind of always an argument like about how U.S. soccer isn't as good because we don't have them held to the same expectations as other countries do. I know
Mhm.
that's said about MLS a lot. Like we don't have relegation, we don't do this. It's those expectations. We have to be expecting them to do well.
Yeah.
And then my other counter argument for some of the friends who say, well, if they're not going to win it all, why should we, care that much or something like that?
Mhm.
I bet a lot of those people will root for KU basketball, who has won tournament but doesn't win it every year, right? Hasn't won for
Right.
how long? I don't know how long that's been. It's the same thing, right? And you play that
Yeah.
every single year.
Yeah, but at least at some point throughout that season, KU has an eyeball on that title. Like they're at least like looking at it at some point through the season.
We're looking at it. There's only 48 teams left.
That's true. That's true. We're
Like,
we're
We're
almost
the
there.
last
Look at
48, man. And we're going to probably be in the last 32 and
Hey,
maybe in
easy.
the Sweet 16.
Easy with
Okay,
the
Fed, say no more.
assuming.
You're going to curse us.
Yeah,
But
I'm-
speaking of Fox guys, what do we think of these studio analysts? I'm sure that Zlatan is going to have plenty of positive things to say about the U.S. and MLS.
Is he one of
Yeah.
the studio?
Yeah,
he is, and Zlatan, you're not hiring him to do this for quality analysis and things like
Exactly.
and well-rounded point of views. Like that's not why he's on there. And it's if they got him to do this, that's the win. And congrats
There you
to
go.
them for for getting him to agree to do this.
He's
Yeah, but
playing a
are
part
him-
and he'll play it well.
Him and
Yeah.
Henri and Javier Hernandez, are they going to get along? I mean, we'll see how that goes.
Thierry
Cool.
Henry is doing it too.
Yep.
How is that? Is that legal? He's skipping over from CBS. Doesn't he have like
It's happening, my friend.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. That's out of the norm, I would say, in broadcasting. Well, good for him.
Yeah.
He is that show on CBS is still incredible. Maybe you guys, maybe it's an age thing, but I love the unserious nature of the Golazo show and all of that they do. So
And-
yeah, he's a star over there. You got to put him on this for the World Cup. America needs
Cody?
to see him.
one of your favorite broadcasters, John Strong, is in the lead broadcast booth for the World Cup. So there you
Of
go.
course he is.
Yeah.
Can't miss that. Every game at halftime, I'm always waiting before that first commercial break. 45 down, 45 to go.
You do
John
that well.
Strong, he's great, man.
You do that well.
Okay.
That's Cody's next job after watching the entire World Cup for $50,000.
I
He's
mean, what
going
job
to-
won't he
I'd
be
be
able to get that at that point? I mean, come on.
I mean,
I'd be
he's going to be
qualified
wearing
at that point.
27 different hats, you know?
Well, 48 maybe.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a quick break, and we're gonna come back and talk about the guys on the field. We'll be right back. All right, we are gonna do the good, the bad, and the ugly, but in reverse, because we're optimists. We want to end on a good note here. So we're starting off with the ugly. Robert, tell us what's been happening. You're our tracker for those. You can go on kcsoccerjournal.com and read Robert's weekly tracker of all the players. It's very helpful. What's the ugly part of this?
Guys, I'm still trying to get over this. I looked at our striker squad and I said, that's a pretty damn good group of strikers. Whether we're going to bring 3 or 4 to the World Cup, I don't know at this point. But I was like, Balogun is on, right? And you've got Pepe scoring goals coming back from injury. And then Ajiman is killing it. I mean, back in the last camp, that move he made around the inline and to get across in, I was like, oh man, he's got to shine.
They're all legit. I don't understand why we're not better.
Well, here's one reason, Cody, because Ajiman tore his Achilles like less than a week later, I think in the next match for his club. So he's out for the World Cup. So I'm still trying to get over it, guys. We
that poor
still
guy,
got
man.
Balogun. We still got a good crew there, but man, if we could just bring him on or start him at some point, he'd be, I don't know, I think he would have been great for us.
And another bad injury too, right?
Yeah, James Sands. He was probably a little far down the holding midfielder, defensive midfielder chart, but ankle surgery, he's not going to be able to make the World Cup either. So,
I like
an
him.
opportunity for someone else, maybe an MLSer like Berhalter or Roldan or, I can't think of who else I was trying to think of. But so opportunity for them.
Well, speaking of Roldan, Sporting Kansas City just played Seattle, and he passed the ball to Dejan Joveljic.
We appreciate that.
and just gave him a goal. And you know what? That sucks. And it's like, oh, that doesn't look good for the World Cup. Just get it out of the way now, Roldan. Just get it out of the way now. That thing happens to everyone in sports. Get it out. It's perfect timing. And thank you, because I'm a Sporting fan. Thank you for that. Perfect timing. Get out of the way now. Get that entirely out of your game, and then let's get on track for the World Cup.
So what do you guys think? Is Ajiman's loss going to be a big one, or how's that going to impact this side?
You asked the question of if they would even bring all 3 of them, and I think that they would have. That's another tool. This is a guy that is scoring goals and looked good at the right time, and it's a loss, man.
And he's physical, and Balogun, he's a good sized dude, but he doesn't play as physical as Ajiman does. So
yeah. I liked the size. We needed that.
Yeah, that was one of the main reasons I really liked him up there, is because he had the size to go against a bigger back line and hold up the ball when he needed to. But it gives another opportunity for other people, right?
Somebody's got to step up. Okay, so does that complete our ugly portion? Does it get a little better from here?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit.
Okay, so let's go to the bad.
All right, we got more injuries, guys. Got more injuries. Now, Tim Ream, probably one of the most talked about, debated players for this World Cup, whether he's going to start in that back line or not, whether he's too old, whether he needs a cane or a walker. But he's battling a groin injury right now, so it may not even be a discussion, because those groin injuries, you think you're over it, you go back out, warm-ups, first 20 minutes of a match, and you do it again. So we got Tim Ream and also Miles Robinson, another center back, dealing with those injuries, and neither of them have played in the last 3 matches for their clubs.
Yeah, I'm most disappointed, I think, on Miles Robinson, because as much as Tim Ream has been really good over the last however long, or contributed well, I just wonder, do they have like a geriatric specialist for Reem?
Okay. All right. You're like twice
Charlotte.
his age.
I'm not trying to play in a World Cup, man.
That's
Dad,
true.
you're not 76. Good Lord.
Robert,
No,
you
I'm
said
not.
that about the groin injury. I hit a groin injury right at 35, and it was the slowest healing injury I've ever had in my entire life. Partially just it's a tough injury, and partially because I was 35.
Well,
And,
Mr. Reem is 38. So there you go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It just at that point, it just doesn't. You don't snap back as instantly as you once did,
Right.
and
The
especially
snap,
from a groin injury.
the only snap you hear is the tendons.
Right.
And trust me, I understand you don't snap back from injury like you used to. Trust me.
Yeah.
But I wish him well, though. I mean, I would like him actually to be on the World Cup squad because of his experience. I would love
Locker
for him to
room
not
guy.
be starting.
So,
You know,
I want him.
In
I want him
general-
in. I want him in the locker room at halftime after a tough first half of a game. We need him in that locker room right then.
and again, under certain circumstances, I don't mind him being on the field. I just want him to be very specific circumstances where there's people around him that have speed.
Yeah.
So, how do we feel about our back line in general? I mean, these are two possible hits to that back line.
How do we feel about
like
any
it's
line?
do we feel like it's a strength of the U.S. or do we think it's a, what do we think?
I don't think any line is a strength right now.
Experience a membership that backs your business journey with American Express Business Platinum. When you pay with membership rewards points for all or part of an eligible flight booked with a qualifying airline through Amex Travel, you can get 35% of those points back, up to 1 million points back per calendar year. American Express Business Platinum. There's nothing like it. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-platinum.
Marvel Television's Wonder Man, an 8-episode series, now streaming on Disney+.
A superhero remake, not exactly what we'd expect from an Oscar-winning director.
Simon Williams, audition for Wonder Man.
I'm gonna need you to sign this, assuming you don't have superpowers.
I'll never work again if anyone found out.
My lips are sealed.
Marvel Television's Wonder Man. All 8 episodes now streaming, only on Disney+.
Now, like, I mean, we just talked about like Dare to Dream and all that stuff in that commercial. Could we go all the way? Yes, but it's going to take people probably playing over top of what, above and beyond what we think they can do normally. There's been times we went into World Cups and I'm like, oh, we have really good defenders. We have really good goalie. All we got to do is keep them out and hope that, some Wijnaldum or Reina or, Tab Ramos or Donovan or Dempsey can go score some goals. Right now, I don't feel awesome about the defense. Now, they actually have not played too bad over the last. There's been a couple of games where they've not been good, but most of the games over the last 12 have been not bad. I don't know how to read into it because I don't always know who they're playing, like how strong they are, but I would like to think that the defense is okay. Not great, not bad.
So, Robert, I looked up the ESPN U.S. men's national team depth chart. They update it like every week on top 15 of each line. And Tim Ream and Miles Robinson are number 2 and number 4 in that. So, according to ESPN, the center back line did take a hit there, 2 of the top 4.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to mix things here, but MLS, whoever put the curse on Inter Miami's new stadium needs to put a opposite curse on Chris Richards, because if Richards goes down, we're in big trouble.
Yeah, for real. Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so according to ESPN here, Chris Richards and Mark McKenzie are the top 2 center backs right now. So
Well, we've got some guys like, say, an Alex Freeman, who I think you were impressed with last time, Cody, who could slot into as a center back. We play 3 in the back or whatever. So we have some options. Scally can do that as well. But again, they're maybe not the class in some ways of Ream and Robinson.
Okay. What else we got on the bad?
Well, who's supposed to be our hero, guy? Who's supposed to be our top player on this squad? Not named
Weston McKennie.
No, he is the hero, Thad. He's not supposed to be, though. Robert is definitely going for the star of the Fox commercial, Christian Pulisic.
Yeah. Hasn't scored all of 2026, guys, and we're in May, the 5th month of the year.
He's due. What do you mean he hasn't scored? I just saw him on a
He's due.
commercial.
Right.
I think he scored an Olympico in that commercial too.
Yeah. That's because he knew none of those old guys could get the head on the ball. I'm kidding. He's not even he's not starting as much. He's not playing as much time. He's not like the key guy for his team at this point.
But it
I
was
have
so...
to hope.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just have to hope for the dream thing where he doesn't get a lot of time and he comes in and all of a sudden turns it on and says, "Look at me, I'm a World Cup star," and
he's angry and raring to go. It hasn't been working out. He's ready to make an impact.
Gets a $50 million payday transfer move to Man City and then just drags them down further.
Man City taking
Why would you
strays
mention
there.
Man City? I don't get it.
God.
Anyway.
I don't know. It was a team.
So,
But I mean,
Robert-
it was so exciting, guys, when he was on fire, right? We're like,
Yeah.
okay, Christian's finally got his act together. He's going to get a big transfer somewhere, right? But yeah, it just cooled off this last month, this last camp. He just didn't have it in the final third. He looked like he was realizing he didn't have it and didn't know what to do about it.
It is objectively something to look at, concerning, I guess. But are you actually concerned, Robert?
I am, because we need, if we're going to get past, we'll get past the group stage, pretty confident, right? But if we're going to get past anything beyond that, we're going to need, we're going to need to score some goals, because we've talked about how our defense is a little sketchy, right? So we need Pulisic, on his game.
Cody, you mentioned that ESPN 15 player depth chart. I forgot about it existed. I remember looking at it before, but I kind of forgot about it. But I was just looking at it, and that there are some players down on those depth charts that I'm like, I don't know that guy's name. I don't know that guy's name. And then there's one that I go, oh, I know that guy's name, and he's at right back.
Yeah. Yeah, a list like this there's always going to be holes to poke and things like that, but it's a good
Jake Davis at right back is in the top 15 U.S. pool according to ESPN.
Yeah.
Who wrote that?
I think might be team Ryan O'Hanlon.
That's how thin we are at right back.
Well, he's 11th.
He's way down there.
Yeah, so I'm not saying he's like immediate call up here, but
Ahead of DeAndre Yedlin.
yeah, I kind of okay with that though.
Yeah.
Reggie Cannon, head of Reggie Cannon. So interesting.
So, Cody, are you concerned with Mr. Pulisic in his current form?
Not necessarily. I think that a World Cup is just kind of a reset button, and it is. It of course, I would feel better if he was scoring goals right now. That would make me feel better, but do I think this means he's not going to be able to do anything in the World Cup? No. Cuz even when he was doing amazing in club, we didn't win the World Cup with the national team. So, yeah, it's a whole different world in the World Cup. So he can do a reset button, and yeah, I'm not too concerned.
This episode is brought to you by Ferrero. Soccer's biggest stage is approaching, and Ferrero is making it easy to go all in. Pick any two Ferrero brands from Kinder Bueno to Ferrero Rocher, and you could win the $1 million grand prize, plus an exciting range of daily and weekly prizes. Don't miss your shot. Official rules apply. Learn more at goallinandwin.com.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment. Anyway, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Starting a business can seem like a daunting task, unless you have a partner like Shopify. They have the tools you need to start and grow your business. From designing a website to marketing to selling and beyond, Shopify can help with everything you need. There's a reason millions of companies like Mattel, Heinz, and Allbirds continue to trust and use them. With Shopify on your side, turn your big business idea into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
He's just
I
saving
think
up energy.
Also, and
think
because
his
of what Thad said, McKinney is our actual hero. That's the guy I'm leaning on here. So anything
well, I
we get
think
from Pulisic's
Pulisic's
good.
role, guys, might be mostly, even if he's not in goal scoring form, is to attract attention, right? And pull attention away from the Weston McKinneys, from the Balagons, so they can have more space to operate, or whoever else. So that is still a role he can fulfill, even if he's not on his game. But my concern is if he has a clear cut chance in a big game where we need a goal and he flubs it, that's my concern, I think.
It just gave me chills thinking about it.
Yeah. I've just seen, I've been around watching sports for so long that people who were supposed to be superstars goes into the big game and they flub it. And guys who were, borderline sometimes go in and like be the hero. So you just never know what these stories are going to be. That's part of, that's part of the interest is you don't know if Pulisic's going to go in and score a goal every game and take them to a final. And we go back to this Fox commercial and Dare to Dream, or any one of those players could go in and just lay an egg and, pass the ball into their own net twice in a group stage. And
Or
you
do a
just don't
Chris
know.
Wondolowski. Never forget.
Yeah.
You won't
What
let
a-
us forget, Cody.
I'll
What a
never
wonder.
forget. Okay. Enough of the bad and the ugly. I'm almost assured that there's other ugly or bad that we could talk about surrounding this team. But let's go to the good, yeah? Let's take a break first, and then we'll do the good. We'll be right back. All right. The positives. We're going to end on the positives, the good surrounding the potential roster for the U.S. men's national team. 20 days out of the announcement of the roster. What good is happening, Robert?
Well, we've been talking about him already. Mr. Balogun, the guy just won't stop, right? He has scored now 9 goals in 10 matches for AS Monaco. 13th overall this season. He scored the opening goal for them in their last match, a 2-1 win over FC Metz. And then this is even more important in my mind. A week or two ago, he drew a penalty and converted it in a 2-2 tie. Drawing a penalty is something that if Balogun can do that, if he's on his game and he gets that attraction, great. And then if he has the balls, the focus to convert that penalty, even whether he would be the PK taker or not, I don't know. That's even better. So I see a lot of maturing going on through Balogun through this season. And this World Cup's he's got to be looking at saying, I can really shine and, maybe he can make a move if he wants to make a move after this and grab that opportunity.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, Robert, because Balogun has been a guy for several years now that we've kind of maybe been waiting for that next gear, that you see it in the glimpses and all this. And I think he's grown a bit this year, and hopefully he's putting it all together and it's all at the right time too.
We have to hope. I dare to dream.
We literally have to hope.
Yeah,
Much what we
he's
got.
so good at finding spaces, and Pulisic, even if he's not on his game, is going to find him. So is McKennie, and so is Tyler Adams, for example. So yeah.
And
Okay, more
that is
goals.
one.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying that is going back to the Pulisic thing. That's one thing that I don't worry about Pulisic not scoring as much as long as he can pick out the other people.
Yeah.
If he can pick out Balogun or McKinney or whoever the other winger is in this particular situation or whatever, that let him be a provider, not necessarily a goal scorer. And then all of a sudden, if that's going on, I bet you he'll find the goal because they will stop paying as much attention to him.
Well, that's arguable opinion I'm about to give is that I think our wide wing backs, whatever you want to call them, attacking wingers, whatever you want to call them, is probably the strongest part of this roster. It's deep. It's got a lot of talent in it. And, that's going to help a guy like Pulisic even more and have more options because he's never had this many good options to play the ball off to where he doesn't necessarily have to be the focus of the attack.
Good point. I concur.
Robert, you said something earlier about Pulisic that they need him to draw attention. And that's exactly right. I think we're going to need him to kind of take one for the team or maybe take 10 a game for the team while they just kick him and they focus on him and try to upset him as they always do, is what everyone in CONCACAF does that. So, Christian, just take a few kicks a game and let Weston run around free. Like, yeah, thank you for your service. I think that's going to be a vital part of what he can do in this World Cup.
And hey, guys, it's not just Balogun that's on the streak. We mentioned him earlier, Ricardo Pepi. I mean, he's a guy who played in
Yes.
MLS and he was so inconsistent. It's like, okay, is this guy really that good? And then he gets a transfer over to Europe, and now it's paying dividends.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I don't have the stats right in front of me right now. Let me pull them up here. But
Scored a goal, though. Multiple
yeah,
goals.
versus Ajax, first minute. Did you guys see that one?
I did not.
I mean, take a bit of guts to hit that ball at the back post and almost ran into the post, So he's got to be focused to do that kind of thing. But he scored two, another one of PS Eindhoven's latest matches. So he's been on a good streak, ever since the year began as well, and coming back from injury that he had. So it's nice to see that it's not just Balogun, it's Pepe as well.
And there was more, I think, right? More goals?
As far as players with the national team, of course, yeah. And let's
Yeah.
not forget Haji Wright. Haji Wright has had a very good season. He just hasn't been putting them in lately. But
Love
his
Haji.
club got promoted to the Premier League, so well done for him in Coventry City. But yeah, I mean, Diego Luna, Thad, I know you love to talk about Diego. He's been on a streak lately. What are your thoughts about Diego and making this squad and what he might bring to it?
Well, I always just like the fact of how hard Luna will play. I mean,
Mm.
he's not always going to be the best player out there, especially when you get to the national team level and stuff. But the dude gives everything, and that's just what I like about him.
You're describing what the American national soccer team should be.
And he's
At least
he's-
in this iteration of it. Maybe we
Yeah.
don't have every single best player, but that was what the national team always was, and we lost that.
I mean, I probably say this like every other pod is just that, remember, he went out and broke his nose, and Pochettino talked about how he had big balls, and, he's got the Muppet hair and tattoos
Yes, he
and
does.
all that stuff. And I like how he plays, how he gives everything. So
He needs to sign a new contract or get into new echelon of finances and fix that hair. Like, just make more money and your hair will get better. That's just how it works.
But no, guys, he's got 3 goals and 3 assists since he returned from his injury. And, like you're saying, Thad, I think that's the reason that a Berhalter and a Luna and, an Aiden Morris have a good chance to make the
Right.
final 26 because they bring that element. And Pochettino has often said, it's not necessarily the best players that I'm looking for. It's the best team, the best group.
Right.
And that group has to have diversity.
I mean, you want to have guys. I mean, if you could have 26 Messis on a team, right? Yeah, you think you would win, but you would probably lose. Although it'd be like 12 to 11 games, right?
Right? You ship a ton of goals.
Yeah, but you need those guys who will be gritty, and you need some of those at every position, and you need guys who may not be fast but are smart and have experience. Tim Ream, it's just all of those things make a good team. It's not just the youngest, fastest, most talented players all the time. It's the ones who will give you a performance, especially in bigger games. I don't know if Diego Luna has the big game performance in him, but maybe.
Yeah. But more good guys. We talked about wingbacks just a bit ago. It's a deep group, guys. Serginho Dest, we'll talk about him in a little bit. Tim Weah, Jedi Robinson. Number 4 on my list, Alex Freeman, who is starting to get time for Villarreal right now, which is a good
Love Freeman.
sign for him. Yeah, definitely. And then Max Arston, he's got 3 goals and 4 assists on the season. I still think his defense is sketchy, guys, but he's looking good on the attack, and that's really that wingback's job. There are going to be times against certain opponents where they're going to have to defend for long periods, sure, but providing the attack, and Arston can do that for sure. So he's in good form now too.
I like Arston. Again, like you said, he may not be the best defender, but
One of those guys.
I think he's not as bad as what we sometimes see him as. I think he's been exposed because of who's been around him a few times or what they've been asked to do. Because that sometimes makes a player look bad is when they're having to go forward or something like that, and then you give up the extra goal because you weren't in the spot where you would normally be. So, but I kind of like Arston. I think he's probably well placed on your roster though, deep 4th on the roster.
Cody, any thoughts
Or
on
fifth, sorry.
any thoughts on any of those guys? I know you like Freeman.
Yeah, I do like that a lot, and I like seeing that the time is starting to come with Villarreal. Got to start over the weekend, and there was some good. Once you see when people make a 4 or 5 minute video that they have to put on Reddit of a highlight, then he's doing pretty good. So that that was a good thing to wake up to on Reddit one day.
Nice.
Yeah, I like him a lot, and there. It seems like at one point we had 0 right backs or even left backs. And now it seems like there is plenty of guys that are in the mix that could do the job, and I wouldn't be terrified to go in this World Cup with.
Yeah, I mean, again, it remains to be seen what we play, and we'll play different formations throughout, of course. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But we talked earlier about Haji Wright and Coventry getting promoted.
Oh.
Well, Eden Morris and Middlesbrough are in a battle. They're in the playoffs for
Saw that.
championship sides to move up.
When
Wrexham
are
didn't
those
make it.
games?
Agimon's Derby County did not make it into the playoffs, but Middlesbrough is. I believe they're taking on Southampton.
Yes, this weekend, Saturday and Tuesday. Are the 2 legs for that one.
And Aiden is a favorite of mine. He's just solid, and he is so central to everything that Middlesbrough does, and even on the ball. So I really think he's got a good shot at making the roster for the U.S. And of course, he's got Tyler Adams, etc., to battle against. But I think he's got a shot at it.
I know this wasn't necessarily on our rundown, but who's a player that you think is like outside but has the chance to sneak into the roster?
Myself?
Yeah.
No,
I
not
think
you, Robert. You're not going to sneak into the roster.
I didn't know if you're yeah, right. Scally, the last camp did well. He showed well, I think. And I think because of Miles Robinson, probably not making the roster. I don't know. We'll have to look at that. Scally could again play that right back situation if we're in a 3-back set, and he can play the wing back well too. So I think Scally is a dark horse with a more than 50% chance, if you call that a dark horse, to make the roster in my mind.
I like
Sounds
that.
good. How about you, Cody? Anybody? I know I'm putting you on the spot, so I do apologize because you know me, I just think of these things off the cuff. So
I mean, obviously the one that still comes to my mind is Giovanni Reina, and we have all said that he should not be on the roster, but I still kind of think he's going to go. I think he somehow gets in there.
and to be fair, I don't disagree. He's a guy who, if you ask me right now, I might say no, he absolutely should not be because he's not playing often enough. He's not in form. He's not this. He's not that. He's an attitude, whatever. And he asked me tomorrow, and I might go, there's the off chance that he can just bring something special. It's man, he's a tough one to like really be 100% on.
But if you look at the last 3 matches, he's actually gotten some decent time. 19 minutes, 13 minutes, 20 minutes. That is sadly a hell of a lot more than he was getting before.
Yes, exponentially more than he was getting.
Yeah, but it's sad that we're going, oh, he's getting a lot of time now, or like it's 20 minutes for most rosters just means you're coming in and trying to run a game out, or they're down by 2 goals and you're just the last hope, which might be what he's needed.
Yeah. Tim Howard and Lena Donovan do Unfiltered Soccer. That's their podcast. And they're pretty boring personalities, to be honest with you, but they know stuff, right? But Landon said, here's what I do. And I agree with it. You say to Gio, hey, if you can come in, work hard, and be a good teammate, you could get a fair amount of minutes this World Cup, or you may not play at all. So if you can guarantee me you're going to work hard and be a good teammate, I'm bringing you.
Yeah.
But if there's one moment where you slip up and you're not giving it all, or you show an attitude, I'm sending you home.
Problem is, once the roster is set, you're not sending anybody home. That's the problem. And he's
what he means. I mean, you're not going to play.
I know, but if it is that last camp right before it, and you could say, oh, somebody got hurt, they're off the roster, somebody moves up, because there's some wiggle room there when they have the camp before the actual deadline of the roster. And I'm not sure on the rules on that right now, But I know in the past you could bring in like 30 guys and settle on your 20, whatever the number is for that particular tournament. So I would bring him in for that sort of thing. But at the same time, there's guys who have been good teammates, who have given it their all. And I would hate to see him over Diego Luna or some of the other players just because they have given their all every single time.
Right. All right, Cody, last on the good, and then we're looking at maybe doing a stock up, stock down after that. But Serginho Dest, back from injury, getting time now. Tyler
Finally.
Adams as well. So again, it's just a hope. I've got Dest at the top wing back. We've got, of course, Tyler Adams as our top holding midfielder. We need those guys on the pitch. So good that they're coming back into their clubs, and hopefully they're coming back into form as well.
I saw a report from Sky Sports that Tyler Adams is getting interest from Manchester United. I don't like that.
Of course you
But
don't.
like good, good for him and all. Yeah, good for him, but don't go there. Yeah, glad he has been back on the field for a while, not just freshly returning from injury, and he's got some time to get up to game speed and back into form.
All right.
Shall we go into stock up, stock down? I mean, we mentioned a number of guys that might be on that list, but I've got a few maybe that we haven't mentioned that I would put on a stock up, stock down. But
Okay, what do you got?
All right, stock up. We did not mention goalkeepers at all, but I'm going to say it. Matt Turner has been putting in some good performances.
Yes.
His last camp with the U.S. Game, first match. Who was that against? Was it Belgium? It was
Belgium.
questionable. But he's turning a lot of series of good performances, and I think he's obviously going to be on the roster, and I would call him the number 2 at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's been performing well lately. The Revolution are winning, so that's a good thing.
In defense of him, that Belgium game was the one where they were missing 2 center backs, but due to injury.
Yeah.
And, you had Tim Ream out there being slow. So it just wasn't set up for a good goalkeeper performance against a really good team.
So is that the line we feel the most confident about, the goalkeepers? Matt Reese, Turner, and we're not sure who the third one will be, but how do you guys feel about the goalkeepers?
Yeah, I mean those two are going. It's
Yeah.
stock up for Turner, but yeah, he'll go and he'll be the number 2. Probably won't see very much of him, but he gets the experience.
When you say good about them, I mean that's the ones that are going. Those 2 don't know the
Yeah.
third, like you said. But do I feel like this is a Tim Howard, Casey Keller, Tony
No.
Miola, whoever else?
No, but this is where Matt Freese turns into that. America has always and will always have strong goalkeepers, and this is where Matt Freese does it.
I will believe you when it happens, Cody.
Manifestation.
I really like his demeanor, in the last match that he had with the U.S. It just was a stark difference to me than Turner was in the Belgium match. So, yeah, I just like the way he handles himself.
Who
All
else
right,
we got?
stock up. I put Freeman in the stock up. We've already talked about Pepe, Luna. I even think Gio Reyna stock up simply because he's getting more time.
Yeah, but that's a low floor.
It is.
Like when you say stock up, that's coming from the dirt floor.
It's a nudge.
From an all-time low. Yeah.
It's a nudge. Yeah. Stock down. We talked about Pulisic. And then 2 guys that we haven't talked about so far tonight, Malik Tillman and Tanner Tessman. Both of them, they're seeing their time with their clubs kind of decrease lately.
Yeah.
Tessman wasn't in the match day 20. The last match, he entered the 34th minute of Leon's match, stepped in the 79th minute, the match before that. So that to me just says stock down for him, simply because he's not getting as much time with his club. And then Malik Tillman, he was a guy who was putting in some goals as well, and he's cooled off for sure. And his time with Leverkusen, 84th minute, he entered in their last match, the 61st minute, the match before that, the 81st before that. So he's not even starting for them right now.
Yeah, he's getting slop time.
He's still getting time.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it's bad when we say, "Oh, this guy's getting slop time," and it's a stock down. But for Reyna, it's a stock up.
Yeah, for sure. But I don't know. What do you guys think? I got Brendan Aronson as number 4 in that attacking midfielder spot, behind Pulisic, McKennie, and Tillman. Luna number 5. What are your guys' thoughts on that small group right there?
Did you say Weah in that?
Weah isn't a attacking midfielder. I consider more of a wingback.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. As you were saying that, I was looking. I'm still looking at the ESPN's list here, and they combine wingers and attacking
Do
midfielders.
they? Yeah, yeah.
It is weird how people combine different things
That
when they
seems
make
so
these lists.
arbitrary. Like what? Yeah, that's such an arbitrary combination there.
Like, I mean, and Robert, I mean, it's your list. You do how you want, but holding midfielders, you have to have them as 6s and 8s, and I'm like,
Right. Which I mean, isn't that basically what's going to be if they play a 3-2-4-1? I don't know. Maybe not.
it depends. But I just always think of them differently in myself. So it's
Yeah.
again, you do the list how you want. I'm just my own mindset is I see 6s and 8s as different players. An 8 can sometimes be a 6 or be the other
Sure.
one of a 6, but the 6
Right.
usually isn't an 8. But in my
So,
mind.
Cody, before you came on, Thad and I were discussing before we started recording Johnny Cardoso. Speaking of, you know, holding midfielders, his time hasn't been a whole lot recently. I mean, he was in the Champions League semifinal against Arsenal, which they lost. Um, any thoughts on Cardoso? I don't think he's going to make the roster at this point, but I could be
Yeah,
wrong.
and I tend to agree with you, and that's disappointing for me. That's a player I've been, assuming for several years now would have at this point been a huge figure for this team. But yeah, it's kind of sad to see. But getting real minutes with Atletico Madrid, and I would love to see him out there. But yeah, I'm kind of with you. I don't know if he actually makes a cut.
My point was just that he has not performed well when he's been with the U.S.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest downside to him is because he's with a big team and he gets minutes with a big team, sometimes more, sometimes less.
Yeah.
And again, I was listening to some people talk on Sirius Satellite Radio. I don't actually remember who, but talking about how he's just a different type of a defensive midfielder than what the other guys. The other guys we have are a little more um, patient, hold the ball kind of guys, be in the right spots where he's a little bit more of a destroyer kind of guy because that's what Atletico Madrid wants. And I don't watch him enough to really know, so I'm just going off what other people say. I'll be honest, but he wouldn't if he's that capable. If he's that has that capability, is he a guy you would want to have on the roster when you are closing out a game late against something? But can you have a roster spot for just a guy who does that?
And I think this is where, for a lot of people who are MLS, anti-MLS, how can you put Sebastian Berhalter ahead of Johnny Cardoso? How could you put Christian Roldan ahead of Johnny Cardoso? He plays for, Atletico Madrid. How can you do that?
Because you show up when Pochettino wants you to,
Right.
more so than the others. Now, not everybody shows up in every game, right? I mean, I've spoken highly of Luna, but not every game has he come out and been like, oh my God, the best player out there, or even the top 5 player out there. Berhalter, we've seen how he can do in MLS, and I really like him. And he's done well for the U.S. at times, but he's also not come out there and always been the best player. I think there's only so many of those you can have on the roster also.
It's an article from Stephen Goff saying he thinks Cardoso that he might have locked himself up a World Cup spot after the Champions League showing.
That's
Yeah.
why we do this, guys.
And the truth is, we could go find a legitimate article from somebody who is soccer knowledgeable arguing every one of these positions.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
And at the end of this, when that roster comes out, we're going to go, oh, yeah, we were right on 23 out of the 26 of them. We feel good about ourselves. But it's going to be what Pochettino saw. And because, I mean, Robert, you've coached teams. We know we've talked to many great coaches. And it's what they see behind the scenes that often determines things that we never see. So a lot of it, like we see how they do in a game, how they do with this team, how they do in that situation, the attitude they show.
I trust Poach.
I don't know if we do yet, but if he wins us,
I do.
If he wins us a dare to dream moment,
Pick that team you want to take, Poach.
Yep. No, I agree on that. Take the team that you think you will get the best results from.
All right. So, Thad, you mentioned this a couple of times during the pod, so I looked it up. Preliminary squads. Provisional rosters will be selected, numbering between 35 and 55 players. Final deadline, May 30th. The final 26-man squads must be submitted. Minimum of 23, max of 26. But I'm not seeing, if you can, somebody injured, you can pull somebody in, but I'm sure there's probably some qualification on that.
So
The injury,
they can,
yeah.
on the 20th, they're going to announce the roster, but they can make a change until the 30th. It sounds like.
Yeah.
So, and that's happened before. That's
less than 2 weeks before.
Yeah. And you also have the possibility of injuries right up until the last second. It sucks. But Chris Armas, the Kansas City Current coach, mentioned the other day that he tore his ACL on Mother's Day, like 2 weeks before the roster was announced for going to the World Cup, because he would have been at the World Cup most likely. It sucks. And it sucks
Just
that
ask
Aujabine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, poor guy.
Because, I mean, he's probably the guy who was almost guaranteed to go that is not going to go now for sure, right?
Yeah.
Sands was an argument one way or the other, and he's not going to go because he had the ankle surgery, right? It was Sands, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he can say
So-
for the rest of his life that he only didn't go because of that injury.
Yes. Yep. He can. And maybe he'll have another chance.
Okay. Anything else, Robert?
Yeah, Cody, just wondering if you wanted to give kind of our listeners a preview of what they might see coming in the next couple episodes as we lead up to the World Cup and then when the World Cup itself begins.
Yeah, so the roster's coming out here before too long. We're going to try to do a big comprehensive roster rundown in the days leading up to that, let you know who's on the bubble, who's for sure in, what the key people that we're looking at and all of that. And then, we have a couple other ideas in the chamber for shows, a bit of a different format than we do now of just kind of a weekly update. But yeah, we've got some ideas for some good shows, maybe a bit more evergreen and a wider audience and all that. So yeah, keep an eye out. We got more episodes coming.
Cody, one of those could be our World Cup memories.
Yes.
What is one of your biggest World Cup memories that just will sit with you forever?
Mine is the Landon Donovan goal and the Ian Dark saying "Go Go USA." I remember that game was at like 5 in the morning, or maybe it was like 6 in the morning when that goal went in. I remember it was like a dark basement. I was watching that with a buddy and just losing my mind at a ridiculous hour of the day. And yeah, that was every time I think of a World Cup, I go back to that one.
Nice. What do you got, Thad? What's one of your biggest memories, World Cup memories?
Well, it was also a Landon Donovan goal, but it was in the middle of the day.
Which one?
My daughter was in like the kids country thing where they go basically kind of like a daycare or whatever during the summer for.
I remember kids country.
Yeah. Anyway, I checked her out and went down to Power and Light to watch the World Cup with her, and we were in Johnny's, and like beer starts getting thrown everywhere, so she gets soaked in beer. So like crap, went outside to the center area there at Power and Light. We went and stood up on the stairs.
More beer.
Well, she didn't get more beer there, but when Donovan scored, she jumped so high she almost went over the rail, and I caught her in midair. And then I took her back to kids country smelling a beer.
Yeah, the American Outlaws throw beer. That's just what happens.
That's funny.
I
I'm
never
with
get that.
I'm with it though, because yes, beers are expensive now, so I understand that part of it. But at the same time, you can't do if you've got a full beer in your hand, you can't really do the full celebration. And if it's gonna spill anyway, just have at it.
How about you, Robert?
Oh, well, thanks for asking, Thad. I was hoping you would. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to sound un-American here, I guess, right? But 1998, it sticks in my mind.
Headbutt.
It's inspirational to me. No. Michael Owen's goal versus Argentina, World Cup France that year, the solo run that he made. I just admire the ability, the speed. I just liked Michael Owen at that time too. So that goal just sticks in my head as one of the best World Cup goals that I've ever seen.
Before
Right,
my
so-
time, really, I wasn't conscious for that in my soccer watching, but I have seen that goal. It is a beautiful goal.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I could also do the Brandy Chastain
Yes, Thad.
slide and take off the jersey and all that stuff. That's a great World Cup memory. Not men's national team.
Not Zlatan. The Zinedine Zidane headbutt.
Yeah.
Well, let's not go through all of them, guys. We might do a show about this. Who knows?
So Robert,
Teasing.
Robert, I do want you to come back and be an American on the next time we ask this question.
Yes.
Yes, I will.
I also want to do a show where we just kind of recap all the history of the men's national team in the World Cup. All of the results, notable results, where they finished, all of that.
Sounds good.
We got some
All
good
right.
shows coming. I'm excited. Okay. Thanks, guys. And we will talk to you next week.
It's Saturday and the game is on. 10 minutes in, it's 3-0. I'm sipping back an empty can. I don't give a damn if it's 9 a.m. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. Give me beer, whiskey, wine or gin, anything to shake this mood I'm in. My football team's got me drinking. The other side don't seem so tough, and 3 own goals ain't all that rough. Our skipper has just been sent off. Supporters strong have all gone soft. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. Give me beer or whiskey, wine or gin, anything to shake this mood